Hello, everybody, and welcome. We thank you so much for joining us here today on Business Fundamental Fridays webinar. We know that you could be anyplace else, and so we just want to thank you for taking your time to be here with us. My name is Kelly Frazier, and on behalf of my partners Garrett Pearson and Scott Brandley, who are currently in Kenya working on building their school for the children there, we just want to let them know that we're thinking about them, and we just are so grateful that they have the opportunity to go and do that. Today we're going to be talking about jumpstart your social media on Facebook and Twitter. So we have a special guest with us today, and we are very, very grateful to have her with us. Her name is Jackie Bigford. Now, Jackie is a social media strategist, and we're delighted to have her with us today. She's going to be sharing a lot of information, so definitely get your pen and papers handy. And I would also suggest that although we normally do a teaching moment that lasts, anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes, we're going to try something different today. We're going to go ahead and let Jackie do the entire time of teaching, and what we want to ask you to do is just go ahead in the chat, ask your questions, and as Jackie's going along, I'll be reading the questions for her. Just go ahead and hit accept, and you can get started.
So just a little bit about myself. I have been online for a little over 6 years. I fooled around for the first few years just trying to learn my craft, not really understanding where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be when I was online. And quite by accident, I ended up getting involved with a nonprofit, Global Village Champions Foundation, and what we did was we fed people all around the world, and they had no social media presence at all. They actually had no online presence. So I became their social media director. I did it as a volunteer, and I did it full force for over 2.5 years. And it was a wonderful learning experience for me to learn my craft and to also meet some really terrific people online and to start to create my own connections and people that shared my philosophy and my ideas. I'm very cause driven, and that is really where I started to find my focus with social media. I'm very involved in several areas. One of them is with animal rescue, working with bringing attention to the plight of our oceans and dolphins and whales. And when I found that this was my passion, this is where I really thought I could use my skills in social media, I started to find success. When you're passionate about something, when you're really excited about what you are sharing in the social media world, in the online world, you will find that people will be drawn to you, and you will really start to make some solid, good connections. Mainly because you're all focused with the same ideas. So let's jumpstart your social media with Facebook and Twitter. Just want to give you just a quick overview. I don't really know the extent of how you are using social media at this time, but I think the main ingredient is engagement. If you are not taking the time to start conversations, to speak to people, to jump into their conversations, it's going to be very difficult for you. You cannot be shy. When you find somebody that you're really interested in, that you would really like to connect with, you need to let them know. You need to say hi. You need to start a conversation with them. And when you are engaging with people publicly, you should acknowledge the fact that they are taking the time to engage back with you. So I always suggest that when you are, for example, somebody is talking to you on Facebook, that you thank them, you reply back to them, you let them know that you have seen them. So that's how you begin your conversations. You want to promote the people who reach out to you. And when you do this, you'll find that you become quick friends. You want to share, obviously, liberally, and you want to give credit to the people, to the creators, and to the curator of the content that you share. The worst thing that you can start doing is taking somebody else's information and repackaging it as your own, and not giving credit back to the person who created the content in the first place. So part of sharing, obviously, is following people. It's friending them, it's retweeting them, and on Google Plus, it's circling back. You always want to be positive. Try to be fun. I always post fun posts. I like to use pictures. It's one of the things that I'm very well known for. And I love to put quotes with an appropriate picture. So this is kind of my forte on Facebook especially. People come to my timeline constantly looking to see what I'm going to post every day. And it's fun for me too, because I love to get that feedback. So you want to be entertaining. You know, you don't want to be out there letting the world know, the horrible, terrible life that you're having. That's, that's not why you're online. You're there to create some fun. So you want to thank people, and you want to thank them often. The attitude of gratitude empowers you, and people will engage with you, and they'll share your stuff again and again. Why? Because you've taken the time to publicly thank them. It's so simple. You smile at somebody and they smile back. You thank somebody and they thank you back. People are always drawn to positive people, and they're drawn to people who are willing to thank them. It's very important in social media. Social media can be a huge time hole. And if you're not using the proper tools, you can really spend a lot of time. And a lot of people get very fed up with this, and they tend to put their social media to the side and say, oh, Facebook and Twitter just take too much time. I'm too busy doing other things. It is so important to be consistent, and it's important to be visible every day. 10 minutes a day on Facebook and 10 minutes a day on Twitter, if you use your time properly, is really all that you should need to do. Of course, if you have the time, if you have the love of social media and you want to be there more, that's terrific. But 10 to 15 minutes a day on either of those platforms should give you the visibility that you need. One of the key elements in social media is to create a small circle of friends. And every day you are supporting each other vigorously. In other words, if somebody in your group wants you to share out a new blog post, well, if there's 10 of you in the group, 10 of you are going to share that out in all of your social media outlets, and the exposure is by thousands fold. So I belong to a few very small select people whose product I trust. I know they do quality posts, and every day I go in and I share their material, and every day the other 9 people in this group, I'm using this just as an example, will share my information out. So it's not a one-man band. You're not alone. You're not the only one that is out there trying to say, oh my God, how do I get a retweet of this? You have 9 people out there helping you on a daily basis. So visibility and consistency are extremely important in social media. Here's just a small example. Every day I pick 5 random friends in my Facebook that are not part of my sharing group already. I visit their wall, okay, or their timeline as they call it now, and I will post a cute little picture and just say hello, have a great day, sending you a virtual hug, which is my kind of trademark. I hug everybody that's in my world. And sharing a smile with you. This one photo that I posted on a friend's wall about 4 days ago has virtually almost gone viral. Everybody and their brother has been sharing this from his wall, and of course, who's getting credit for it? I get the I get the credit for this. So I am now being seen in front of thousands and thousands of people that are, that are friends with this person's wall.
Jackie,
So you,
excuse me. I just want to point something out. I don't know if you guys can see how many notifications that Jackie has up there in the corner, but Jackie, can you read that number for us?
that's 103.
103, which is
That was
probably,
the, sorry, that was based on that post. I get over 500 notifications a day.
now for some people that might be a little overwhelming. So what would you say to that?
Well, the notifications that I have up also ping me when people are posting in certain groups.
Hmm.
So it's not always a personal notification that people want to talk to me.
Right.
I usually receive about 25 messages a day, and that's a little more manageable. But
Hmm.
don't let the notifications scare you, because you can control when you are added to a Facebook group or you join a Facebook group. You can control the notifications not only here, but you can control the amount of emails that you are receiving. You know, that's one of the big peeves is when people add you to a group, you have no control over that. I belong to, I bet you 500 groups, and it's because people add me, and then I go open my email, and I almost have a heart attack because I get 1,000 emails a day in the one email that is linked to Facebook.
Right.
So it's very important that you just go in, and it's very simple. You just go into the group that someone has added you to. You can decide to stay. If you stay, you can just hit your notifications. You can change that to remove, and you can change the settings so that you do not receive constant inboxes in your email, because every time somebody posts in a group, you will receive an email if you do not change that setting.
And you can also leave the group too, correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing saying that, and I leave groups all the time. You know, I'm added to groups that I go and I go, oh my God, I don't live your philosophy. I don't agree with what I'm seeing
Right.
posted here. One thing that I do not tolerate is profanity. It's just something that maybe it's my age. I'm a baby boomer. But if I see any sort of post with profanity in any group, I automatically leave them. It's just not where I want to be, and it's not where I want my friends to see me exposed to.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. Because I know looking at the notification number, I was thinking, a lot of people who are on the call might say, you know what? I don't have time for social media, and I certainly don't want a lot of people pinging me and me having to respond to them, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I wanted to point that out because I think it's extremely important to note that it doesn't have to control you. You can control it, but you have to know that how to select what you want to do with it, which is exactly what Jackie was telling you about going up.
Exactly. So when you click on that and you open it up and you see 103, what I do is quickly skim, because I know the key people that I'm looking for comments,
Right.
and I will go and I will make sure that I continue the dialogue there.
Hmm.
Because when you're using social media, if you are not dialoguing, you're wasting your time, because nobody is going to see your posts. And I'm going to get into that in a few minutes, especially on Facebook. But Kelly, you're absolutely right. It does not have to control you. You are always the one in control. But I always want you to bear in mind something when you're using Facebook and Twitter. The more people that see what
Jackie, I think we lost you again. We're going to hang tight here for just a minute because you came back on just after a few seconds last time, so hopefully you'll be back on. Is it just me that can't hear, or is everyone else not hearing her as well?
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'll try and raise my voice again. Sorry, I
No,
dropped the
no
level
problem.
of my voice.
No problem.
So anyway, just to let you know that that's my style in a non-selling, non-threatening, non-aggressive, non-spammy way. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So social media can be overwhelming. There are so many platforms out there, and there are so many new ones coming along every day that are vying to get your attention. But in the beginning, I think the most important thing to spend your time on is your website, obviously. That is your hub. That is where you want people to ultimately land to. You want people to go to your website. So, sorry, I just saw a spelling error. Please forgive me. To your webist. Anyway, to your website, and from there you obviously have a blog because this is where your writing is going to happen. This is where your interaction is going to happen, and this is where you're going to obviously build a following because people are going to just be dying to come back to read your content. And then from your blog, you're obviously going to direct them links, very subtle links, back to your website. So the two main social media platforms by far which receive the most traffic is the place where your customers are spending their time is Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, it is critical that you have your personal page and that you have a business page. The business page is your branding page. And if you don't know what a Facebook page is, you need to spend some time. And I'm going to, in a few slides coming forward, I will show you my business Facebook page as opposed to my personal page. So you can kind of get an idea of what the difference is. And obviously Twitter, you can have two. You can do two on Twitter. I have a personal account, and it's an account that is quite eclectic, and it's an account where I do all of my cause sharing, my quotes, my interaction, my what I think would be of interest to my followers. I've had that account for 3 years, and I let it grow organically. So when we come to my Twitter account, you will see that I have just over 12,000 followers, and I try to follow everybody back. Some people that have been online for a long time have 3 and 4 and 500,000 followers, but they are using software following programs. I don't I don't tend to manage my business that way, but that again is a personal choice. You can also split your Twitter and also have a Twitter business account. And why would you want to do the two? Well, your Twitter business account will be focused on people that want to know, that are interested in your product and your brand. So your tweeting style would be a little bit different, and it would just have more information about your product. Again, it's personal. Some people can't manage two accounts, and you can combine the two. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think that's great, Jackie. I really think that's great advice. And I also believe that you can have as many accounts on Twitter as what you want to put up, just like you can in Facebook. The I guess the indicator there as to whether or not you would need more is the question, whether or not you have a dual business or something. I've even seen people put their cat and their dog up. But, really, a lot of people take advantage of their Twitter and their Facebook pages just really so they can find more people within their tribe typically. And Jackie, being in social media, is going to have a much larger tribe perhaps than what, say, I would, looking for mastermind people or people who are entrepreneurs specifically. One thing I do want to mention too here, Jackie, I know I told you before that you were saying you had 12,000 followers based on you doing the work, you going in there and spending a lot of time doing it. And initially, I did not have a lot of time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to set up one of these auto follows and I'm going to make sure that I am putting posts in there that are, of good content because I've built some great relationships on Twitter for, I think at that point it was like the past year. Well, what ended up happening was I got involved in one of those, some people call them scams, but really it's not. It's your choice as to whether or not you want to do it. I did an auto follow. It was not a good decision at that time. And the auto follow ended up following so many people that I could not control it. And I became completely out of balance. So the number of people that I was following was so much higher than the people that I was not that were following me. So it was very poor choice on my part. So I would not recommend them, but you can set them up in a way that it can actually benefit you too. You just have to be wise about it. And I don't know, Jackie, if you're going to be touching on some of those things, but I think, it's good for people to know what can happen.
Just to reiterate, using software to save time, to help you in your business so that you are not spending so much time. I've shifted a little bit on that with as long as you get a reputable software follow package, we use it for our business account. And what you need to keep in mind is that the more people that follow you when a tweet goes out, you want to be in front of as many people as possible. So how do you manage when you start using these auto follows? You're getting all of these follows, and some of it's junk. I'm going to tell you, probably 25% of it is bots following you back. And I put it at the end of this seminar. There is a program, a website that you can go and it will unfollow all of the garbage. And how to manage it, and I'm going to explain that in one of the coming slides, Kelly, is using lists in Twitter. It is key, and that's how you can manage things from going out of control. And I will touch on that because using lists in Twitter is going to be that is the key to effectively managing your Twitter and managing your Facebook as well. I use lists in both places, and I have various reasons why I set the lists up that I do, and I'm going to explain that.
Excellent. And we're also going to make sure that these links that Jackie gives us as references and resources, that we'll put them in the Facebook group too, guys. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
Okay, how's my sound?
You're doing, oh, that was great. You really came up there for a good boost, but I know some people have been complaining about the sound. Also, I want to apologize because everybody else is hearing just fine when you go away. And I'm saying, Jackie, I can't hear you. It's just me on my end. So, yeah, let's just keep going and see what happens.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for your patience.
They're also going to be asking questions too. Actually, Jackie, excuse me just one second. I think Tony has a question. Tony, go ahead. Jackie can't see them, but I can, and I can read it to her. Oh, he said that was all. Okay, no problem. Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
Okay? No question?
Nope, no question at this time.
Okay. I must be covering the material well then.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about Facebook now. And I just gave you a little bit of information here so that you can understand the value of being on Facebook and the value of having a page as opposed to just your personal timeline. So there's 526 million daily users, and there's 42 million pages hosted on Facebook, 488 million monthly mobile users. It is quickly taking over, using the .coms. It is amazing. Americans, and just Americans alone, spend 53.5 billion minutes a month on Facebook. We love our Facebook, and your potential customers love Facebook. So you really, really need to take it seriously and get a page started. So some things you need to take into consideration when you start your page. Your Facebook strategy is going to be very important. Edge rank is how Facebook determines whether your post shows up to your fans or not. And there are a few things that you need to understand in order to increase your edge rank. So if you have 15,000 fans on your page, but they're not visiting you, you're not sharing good content, you're just strictly spamming links, sales links, and nobody is taking the time to visit you, nobody is seeing what you're posting in their timelines. Most people will not take the time to come over and directly spend time on your page. They are looking to see what is going down their own news feeds. And so it's very important that when you post an update, that it is going down your fans' news feeds. So Facebook is telling us that only 15 to 20% of fans see your posts. So how can we weight this in your favor? There are three things that Facebook looks at. It's called affinity, how often the fans are interacting with your posts; weight, how often fans share, like, and comment; and time decay, how old the post is. So when the Facebook logarithms are looking at the order of the weight, they are looking for how many people share, how many people comment, and how many people are liking your post. Obviously, the more shares, comments, and likes, the higher weight, the more chance that your post will be seen in your fans' timelines.
So, Jackie,
So,
then, excuse me, then that means that the picture that you posted that actually went viral did a whole lot of good for your Facebook page, because even though it was something that you probably got someplace else, they were taking it and sharing it from your page, which I'm sure made the logarithms just go crazy, right?
absolutely. Well, now, that was posted from my personal page,
Ah, okay.
okay? Not from my business page. That was posted from my personal timeline.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's a little bit different, but it works the same way
Hmm.
because that one picture was seen by so many people that, yes, my post was seen by more people than had it just sat on my page and it didn't get any shares or likes. It's very, very unusual that I don't get shares, likes, and comments. Um, there is a tool that I use that weighs your social media. What's the word I'm looking for? Your effectiveness in social media. I have a 97 in Facebook, so that means that I've created and I've curated, and the time that I have spent developing relationships is paying off for me. That's a very, very high ranking 97. And my clout score, for those that may understand what clout is, it also measures your effectiveness in social media. My clout score is 81, which again
Wow.
is very high.
Hmm.
It's because I put the time in.
Right, exactly. Caroline wants to know, is it true that Facebook gives less edge rank to posts from a third party, such as Hootsuite or TweetDeck? You heard that that was the
Absolutely.
case.
Absolutely, Carolyn. You're right on the money. You lose edge rank when you're posting from third-party apps. So there's nothing wrong with if you want to connect, say from Hootsuite, for an example, your post over to Facebook, to your page, but it is extremely important that you post at least 3 to 4 posts on Facebook itself
Is that per day, per week, per month?
per day.
Per day.
Per day. It is extremely important, a minimum of 4 posts a day. And I'm going to give you some of the best times to post.
Okay, excellent.
So I'm just going to give you a little bit more strategy on how to to increase your edge rank. Photos carry higher weight than status updates. People love pictures. People love pictures of cats. People love cute animal pictures. People love to see pictures of you. Even on your business page, you want to humanize that business page. So I don't know if you're an individual and let's say you're involved with your local food bank and you're feeding people, you're going to want to post a picture of that on your business page, even though it has nothing to do with the fact that you're selling muffins or cookies that you're shipping around the world. People want to know that there is a person behind the business. So sharing photos is the best way to do it. It carries the highest weight of anything.
Excellent.
Try to keep your posts short. You have to grab people's attention. It's like headline writing. You know, you want to be using certain words to grab people's attention. If you get long-winded when you are doing your status updates, you're not going to grab people's attention. So keep them short. The Facebook is saying 80 characters or less. That's subjective. I use a little bit more because I tend to be a bit more long-winded. Um, Here again, you should be posting 3 posts a day, minimum. And don't be shy. If you really have something important that you want your fans to share into their timelines, ask them. Ask them to share. Ask them to comment. Ask them to like. People, when you ask, most people are more than happy to help you. Why? Because you've made that connection with them. You've made them want to help you.
We actually just had a webinar about that. It's called Just Ask. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's extremely important that we do. Jackie, I like what you were saying in the beginning of this was that you have this group of people that you get together and you start sharing each other's posts. I cannot think of a greater way to make an impact on Facebook or Twitter than to do exactly that. And you talk about your SEO ranks for your website in particular, if you've got your website link there. I mean, it is massive traffic if you guys can really link up with a good solid group of people, whether that's your mastermind group or a different kind of group. Just definitely do that and say, hey, how about if we do this, because you might be the one who inspires something like that for your group. So I would highly recommend that strategy. Let's go ahead and see if we can wrap up Facebook real quick and get to Twitter.
Okay. So when you're posting, there are some optimal times for engagement. They've done the statistics, they've run all the numbers. The best time for engagement with your fans is Tuesday, Wednesday, weekends. I'm going to quote Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m., before 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for optimal engagement. And it stands to reason people are on the road. Before that, they're having their coffee, they're opening their Facebook, They're seeing what's happening. They come home at night, the kids are in bed after 9 o'clock, and that's when they're opening their Facebook as well.
Huge advice right there, you guys. Absolutely huge advice. These are the secrets that the top social media strategists do not want you to know. So this is very, very valuable
Well,
information.
they want you to know, they just want you to pay for it.
Yes, precisely. That's exactly right.
So, a great way to engage people when you post is to ask an open-ended question. Ask a question, and people are more likely going to want to comment. Um, you can use Facebook ads, sponsored stories. If you want to know what they are, just go to Facebook Help, type in the keyword sponsored stories, and it will explain to you what it is. But basically what it is if you have something really, really important that you want to get out on everybody's wall, never mind the fans' walls, but you've seen the sponsored ads coming down your Facebook on the right hand, the right hand side, you can actually sponsor and pay to have your story show up on everybody's wall. It's just a matter their timelines, their Facebook feeds. Um, it's a matter of how much you want to pay. I won't spend a lot of time on that because none of you probably have the money to do that right now, but it is something that you can consider. When you're posting information to your page, it's the 90-10 rule. 90% fun content, information, pictures, stories, whatever. 10% sales links, or 10% back to your blog. You always want to be careful. You start just posting sales links, you're just wasting everybody's time and yours. And the third one, don't post from third-party apps. We've already covered that. Um, on your Facebook and on your website blog, it is very important that you have a like button there and that you have a Twitter follow button. It's important, obviously, that you have the share buttons, but it's the like button that is going to increase your likes so quickly you have no idea. People come there, they love the story or the post that you've put there or the curation, whatever it is you've done. There, and the like button is sitting right there. They're going to like they're going to like your Facebook page right there. They don't even have to come back to Facebook to like you. Do a Twitter follow button as well.
Yeah. And Jackie, quick question for you. Now, I think I noticed on your business page what is it? What is your social?
Savvy Media Marketing.
Thank you, Savvy Media Marketing. What was the number of likes that you had on that page?
We have, I think we have around 11, 12,000. Just
Okay.
give me one
I thought it
second.
was a lot more than that. And the
Oh,
reason I'm
maybe.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is because I know that this company is not a very old company. When did you guys put this up?
The page has only been up for a couple of months. The company
Mhm.
has been around for a couple of years. It is the brainchild of my partner,
Right?
and we became partners at the beginning of this year. And we heavily promote our Facebook page.
Okay.
And there are many ways to do it. One of the main ways that we have received so much traffic is through a social media sharing site, gaming site actually, called Empire Avenue, which I can't go into today because it's a
Sure.
huge it's a huge topic on its own.
Right.
But we heavily use that. And Kimberly Reynolds is my partner. We are heavy engagers. So whenever we ask, people return the favor for us.
hmm Now, Empire Avenue, like you said, you won't be getting into that, but that's something that people can actually look up on Facebook, correct?
Absolutely. And if they want, I can. Do you have a mastermind group set up on Facebook for the people that join this call?
We do actually. We're not exactly considering it a mastermind at this moment in time, but yes, it's called our Business Fundamental Fridays group, and we can make sure that that Empire Avenue link gets put in there.
Okay, so send me the link, Kelly, and what I'll do is all of the links that I've put into this webinar and a link to Empire Avenue. I will post there,
All
and then
right.
people can just go there. It will take them directly to my Empire Avenue profile. They can take a look at it, and they can see if it's something that interests them. If people are just starting out in social media, if you are just getting going, if you're just trying to understand and learn social media, I would say that is not a place to be right now. That is for people that have already established themselves on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, Pinterest,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, because what it is, it gauges all of your social media across all of the platforms. So if you're just starting, it really is a time gobbler. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. So just to take this note, though, that if you are at that point in your business, and many of you are, take some time to look at Empire Avenue, and it may be something that you want to give your social media person. If you've hired someone to do your social media, maybe a really good idea for them to look into that for you. So, Jackie, go ahead. Now, you started to talk about setting the advertisements along the side on the right.
Yeah, this is just something very quickly. If you want to get more people to see your posts, and when people see your posts, if they like what you're posting, they're more than likely to like your page. So Facebook allows you to actually pay for $5. The budget can be higher, but I just used $5. Facebook will guarantee that it will reach 800 of your fans' pages. Just a little tip, if you want to, if you want to spend, you know, $800 to get in front of 800 of your fans, it is just. I don't personally do it, but if you're just getting going, why not?
Mm.
$5, 800 people. Who knows who you're going to connect with and meet? It could be a valuable $5.
Right.
So here is my business page with my partner on Facebook. It's called Savvy Media Marketing. And this is a custom made timeline picture. It is extremely important that you pay attention to your timeline picture. Don't just throw any old thing up there. It is your first impression when people come over to initially like you. It's important that you create a custom logo, and that logo becomes familiar and brands you, and that logo obviously is across all of your social media platforms. A quick little tip is a lot of people do not know that over here, when you click down, you can do custom tabs. You can direct people with custom tabs, as you can see we've done here, to our blog, to Pinterest, to Twitter, and to our Instagram feed. And that's very simple to do. I don't do it. I'm not the techie side of things, but my partner did this. And you can see we've got 11,880 likes. And that's just strictly by asking.
Well, this is definitely something I'm interested in. I'm sure probably most people on the call would be interested in learning how to do those tabs because I know I've actually tried to do it a few times and haven't been very successful. So I am really curious to know. Maybe
If
you can get your
you
partner
if
on
you
something.
want, if you're fooling around with it and you're having time and you want custom tags, that is something that our business does. It is
Ah, okay.
something that we can do for you. The
Right.
price is very reasonable. I can't guarantee that it would happen tomorrow
Sure.
because Kimberly does all the techie stuff. She does the website building and all of that, but we build websites. We also can create custom graphics for you. We can create a full branding package for you as well. So if this is something that you're interested in, shoot me a message on Facebook, and we'll take a look at it, and we can certainly give you a quote.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Actually, Summer was just saying that they just created custom tabs for her page last night. You use PowerPoint, and you can, let's see, make sure I got her facebookpage.com, Summer Alexander Research. Okay. So thank you for that. So using PowerPoint is how they did that. Okay. Awesome.
Here's just a few little tips, a few little hints that people may not know that they can do. Um, you can, if you have something important that you want to pin to the top of your page and keep it there while you're actually doing other status updates, you just go to the post, to the status update that you've done. You click on the little pencil, okay, and you just click the very top thing, pin to the top, and Facebook will leave that there until you unpin it, or until or 30 days, whichever comes first. So it's a great way, say you have a really important contest that you're running, and you want people to go to your blog, and the contest is running for 2 weeks. Well, you don't want that post to get buried down at the bottom. People aren't going to find it. So you pin it to the top, people come, and it's right there. It's the very first thing they see for the entire time. Or you could be running, I don't know, you could be asking people questions. You could be trying to get feedback for a logo design. Whatever it is that you would like to stay to the top, it's so simple. Pin it to the top.
All right. Excellent. Okay, Jacqueline, we do have a few other things come in for regarding Facebook. Someone was asking about, depending on the audience that you have or your target market, are the times that you had given earlier, the Tuesday, Wednesday, the 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. on weekends, are those the best times for every audience, or is it audience specific?
Well, those are very specific, obviously, times. Say your market is in Asia, or Japan, something overseas, or you're finding that most of your interaction is coming from Australia. Obviously, if you want to engage with those people, then you have to be online during their time for optimum engagement. And the same thing goes with Twitter. You
Okay.
know, it's so again, it is target specific. I don't worry too much about time zones, timelines, because I'm social media. But if you're trying to import, export products to various countries, obviously you want to be sensitive to the timelines of the countries that you are uh, working with.
Right. And
Make
Caroline,
sense?
yeah, that's good, Jackie. Thank you. I think Caroline too. I know for myself, being in both business and in personal development, I have my target audiences are also in those arenas, and the earliest that I can get a message out as possible is the best time on social media. So first thing in the morning when I get up, I am putting those messages out there, and I get responses from people early on. So I think what she's giving you, I think, is really dead on as far as any kind of an audience, because most people like to get their work done, especially high level entrepreneurs, early in the morning and then sometimes late at night. So,
Yeah,
okay.
our company manages many accounts on Facebook. Some of them, quite high profile. Some of them not so much. And we've tested this quite a bit. And Kelly is dead on. The earlier you can get your post onto your page, the more engagement you are going to have.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And then somebody else was also asking about the posting along the advertisements on the right hand side. They're commenting that perhaps this might confuse some people because promotion posts aren't available to everyone yet. And I didn't realize that. I thought that they were available to everyone.
Promoted posts?
Right.
Um, hmm. I don't know. I'll be very honest with you. I thought promoted posts were available to everybody. Um, that's something that I would have to check into.
Right. Yeah.
We don't use promoted posts. I know some of the big corporations do because they have the budgets,
Hmm.
and maybe that could be why. But sorry, I cannot honestly answer that question.
It could also be the difference between having a personal profile and a business page. A business page, you definitely
Yeah,
pay attention.
I would be very shocked if Facebook would not take your money from a business page.
Right.
You don't do promoted posts from your personal timeline. Your personal timeline does not have all the options that I'm showing you here. Like you cannot pin on a personal Facebook page something to the top. On a business page, yes, you absolutely can.
Hmm. Oh, I thought I could do that on my personal. That's interesting. Okay, so let's see if we can wrap this up here, Jackie. Do you have a lot more to go, or are we
Okay,
working really
just quickly, we'll go, let's move on to Twitter. Engagement, I'm not sure if you know, you can create a poll, you can create a question, you can leave it open to your fans to add responses. It's very simple and it's a great way to get people to engage with you. It's simply, you go to your status update, you go over to event milestone, you hit that, and you can create it, and it will walk you through it. And it's a great way to get engagement and to see what your customers are feeling about any question that you want to put out there for them.
good?
Move on. Facebook groups are a gold mine. This is a private group that I belong to, is by invitation only, and this is where you go in. This is where you post what you want people to share out for you, and the person that is asking for this favor, you then put what you would like them to do for you. So this particular person is asking for some clout sharing. I go in, I do some clout sharing. I don't particularly want more clout, but I would like a tweet reposted for me. So I put it in there. And then everybody that comes into that thread will do what Tim is asking, and Tim will reply back. And if you're a really good social sharer, you will then go back into that thread and you will do what everybody is asking. And you let them know, and then they're going to come back and they're going to go and retweet out the tweet that you've asked them for. So these groups are a gold mine. The open groups are too big. You get lost in the shuffle. You get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I suggest that you keep it rather small. Um, as you can see right now, we get anywhere from 12 to 15 requests a day to join this particular group because we are so dynamic and we really respect and share with each other. We are not letting the group get any larger than it is. It's big enough as it is.
Yeah, I think
So,
it's a very good point. A very good point. Because groups can really tend to get out there and then all of a sudden become spammy and you really have no control over it.
oh, absolutely. And the other thing is that I belong to another group that I was so excited for. Women Helping Women. Share Your Awesomeness. And I got involved with this group. And in the beginning, I spent, I would say, an hour a day sharing out other people's stuff, and nobody was reciprocating.
Mm,
Nobody. So guess what I did? I left that group
yeah,
very, very, very quickly.
exactly. There's a
You
couple
know.
of points here that I also want to bring up. We've had Kevin who said you have to have 30 likes minimum to use promotions, and then Caroline was looking on the Facebook help, and she says that it says a minimum of 400 likes to have promoted posts available. So, I would say if you have any questions about that, definitely check on the help Facebook page help, and you can get that question answered. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate that info. I think that's very helpful.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. And by the way, they were saying that this information is great, and thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on because we want to get into Twitter. Sorry, sorry guys, I didn't time test this, so I didn't realize that it was going to go on quite as long as it has. So I
No.
do appreciate your attention. So let's move into Twitter. There are 465 million accounts, and there are 175 million tweets a day. The top 3 users by country are the States, Brazil, and Japan. And what are people retweeting? They're retweeting interesting content. The stats are showing, give me a second here till I bring my information up, 92% share interesting content, 84% a personal connection. So people that are in your circle, your sphere, are going to come and they are going to retweet for you. Humor is big, 66%. 32% because there's some incentive involved. In other words, they can get a discount or win a prize or whatever. 26%, which I find high actually, is because you're asking for the retweet. 21% are retweeting celebrities, and I just put a link there for the source. So where can you find some good content to tweet? Google Alerts is a gold mine. All you do is put in your keywords, set up a separate email account, otherwise your regular email account is going to get inundated, and Google will send you everything on that subject in your inbox every day. It's a gold mine.
It really is. I want to just reiterate that. You guys, for those of you that don't use Google Alerts, please set that up. Whatever industry you're in, just put your keywords into the Google Alerts. And if you haven't done it, just go to Google and just type in Google Alerts, and it'll come right up and it'll walk you through the steps. But definitely get that set up. I highly encourage it.
Absolutely, and I think to use Google Alerts, Kelly, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you have to have a Gmail account. You don't
Yeah,
have to send it to the Gmail account, but I think Google is going to insist that you open a Gmail account, but it takes seconds to
yeah,
do it.
exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, Jackie. It's very important.
5 star, I will post these because you're probably, I don't know if your people are seeing what I put in my notes or not. Kelly, are you seeing this?
We are. Yes, we are.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Tweet me, tweetmem.com. Topsy is a real-time search for the social web. It's an amazing site. And those are just 4 that I threw in there very quickly. Okay. Your Twitter profile is the key to everything. The first thing you have to do is you have to have a picture of yourself. This is absolutely key whether you are a business or whether you're not. You must have a personal picture for your profile picture. And for your business information, you simply put it into your background. For mine, I'm very passionate about dolphins, so this is why when anybody comes to my Twitter profile, they are going to see dolphins. It makes that connection right away. The bio, the profile bio is key. You need to use hashtagged keywords, and I'm going to come up to hashtags in a second, but you need to have your keywords, the subject that you're interested in your bio. And why is this so important? Because the Twitter search engines crawl when anybody is doing a search. And this will bring your tweets and bring you to the forefront when anybody is doing a search. It is extremely important because it takes you into the relevant results. So if you look at mine, I'm passionate about hashtag social media. I'm featured in the Twitter Powerhouse series, the Huffington Post. Huffington Post is huge on Twitter. I was featured in BitRettle. Rebels. Again, another huge online magazine. I'm part of an exclusive group of the top 75 women on Twitter called the Badass 75. BA 75. I can't bring myself to use the word badass. I'm
You
an
just
animal
did.
advocate, and I know, Kelly, what can I say? And I rescue cats. And I'm letting people know that I love to laugh. So people will send me a links with funny jokes or a funny picture, or people when they know that I'm rescuing cats, that I'm an advocate for animals. So if they have something that they're starting an online petition, we want to target somebody because of cruelty, whatever. People know that these are things that they can tweet me about
Mm,
on
excellent.
my personal page. I'm giving them permission to get it, to tweet me those links.
Right. Jackie, just so you know, a lot of people are saying thanks so much. That was a great tip. Had no idea.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me just see if I have anything else here. Do not leave the stock egg. Honest to God, I will not follow, talk to, or communicate with anybody that leaves that stupid egg up there. How unprofessional can it be? And I strongly suggest that you use the same profile picture across all of your social media. I am very recognized now, and I changed things up a little bit. I've been using this picture now for about 3 years. But I changed it up a little bit for those who may notice. Because I was supporting a friend who is going through cancer, I turned my hair blue. It was a special program that we started, a special project, an initiative that we started, and all of us turned our hair blue to support her.
Hmm.
I got so many positive responses. People loved my blue hair that I kept it.
You little
Seriously.
radical.
Yeah,
You're
and people don't know why my hair is blue, but you know what? It opens, people come to me and say, "Oh, I love your blue hair. Why is your hair blue?" And it opens a conversation with me.
It definitely.
So, and that's what you want,
Mhm.
seriously.
Okay,
Okay,
so
any
let's,
questions?
Jackie, yeah, let me just grab a couple of people's info here. But I also wanted to mention about that. The blue hair definitely is striking. And, people who are of a certain age, once they get to that certain age, well, certainly they're not going to turn their hair blue. Who would do that, right? And so that is definitely a controversial move. And controversy can be very good. And it can also really attract attention, which is exactly what Jackie's saying. So some of the things that people are asking here, first, what is your opinion on autoresponders for new followers?
I think if you're using it properly and if you are monitoring your Twitter, in other words, by monitoring it, I mean using, and I'm gonna bring that up in a second, using a site such as twitcleaner.com, that you go in, not every day, but maybe once a week, and clean out the junk so that you are not following more people than are following you back, which is exactly what happened to Kelly.
Hmm.
So when people go to look at her profile, she's following, I'm just going to take an example, Kelly. She's following 10,000 people, but only 5,000 are following her back.
Hmm.
What is that setting up in your mind? Um,
Immediate.
I'm not against the auto follows. I don't personally use it for my personal account. I probably should because I'm in social media. But so many people, when they look at my numbers, when I'm reaching out to them, because I reach out and speak to 3 new followers a day. It is my credo, bar none, every day. I go in, I reach out to 3 new followers, I go over, I say hi, I thank them, I make sure I read their bio so I can pull something personal into the tweet. Um,
Yeah, that.
and if you look at the second tweet down here, you'll see, "Hey Paul, great to connect with you here. We'll pop over to Empire later to return the favor." This guy followed me from Empire Avenue, and I'm letting him know that I know that that's where our connection is.
And that doesn't take all of about what, 3 seconds to figure that out.
Yeah,
And you know, Jackie,
exactly.
yeah, that's
Because
one thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to point out that when I first began on Twitter, and this was several years ago, I think 2008 was when I first started, I think, I had phenomenal relationships that I had built with people over a year's time. And so I ended up with, I think it was probably 2,500 some odd followers. And I was only following back a few, which was, for me, it was kind of interesting to see that because I know that part of your Twitter following is to be able to follow people back and to tell them how much you appreciate them. But interestingly enough, I hadn't done that. And so, how my following got to be so large, it was strictly by the things that I was putting up, and just exactly what Jackie just said. Hey, thanks so much for following me here. You know, that is great. I just simply responded to them, but I really didn't tell them I was going to go and follow them back. So it was interesting that once I made the decision to go through with an auto follow, it just completely, junked everything up for me. And at this point, I don't really think I've been on Twitter in years, only maybe just a few times. But I do have, and Caroline, this is something that you might want to know. On my business Facebook page, I do have it set up so that when I create a post, it goes directly to my Twitter. I've only done that because I no longer spend time on Twitter. I'm embarrassed to say that only because I know the value of Twitter and I know how important it has been in the past for me in business and in making the connections that I needed to make. So if you guys are auto following, just be very careful. That's all I'm going to say about that.
yeah, and when you're auto following, do not auto reply.
Right.
People on Twitter hate auto response replies. So turn it off. If you're not going to take the time to personally send the tweet to the person, it's just don't even bother. It is the big verboten, if I can use that word, is to have an auto reply in the messages. Please do not auto message people back. Those in social media hate it, and it's just going to make a lot of people not follow you back. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. Even a thank you message, Jackie, how do you feel about that?
I don't like them. People know they're coming auto follow. Now, if you're going to go in and do a personal reply privately
Hmm.
on an individual basis, that's fine. But why would you? You want to do this out socially. That's what it's all about.
Right. Okay, now here's a really
I
interesting
hate
question.
opening up my Twitter messages. Oh, I'm so happy you followed me. I'm looking so forward to your tweets.
Right.
Oh, please go here. I'm selling this at a discount price today.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I hear you. Okay, so Jackie, I have a really interesting question by Tony. Tony asks, if someone has my Twitter handle already, but I plan on acquiring it, should I build my following with a slightly different name or wait to get the name I want?
Is it an active Twitter account that is using it?
Tony, I don't know if you heard the question, but is it an active Twitter account? It sounds like he's planning on acquiring this Twitter handle for his account, but he doesn't say if it's active or not. Tony, if you can just respond to that, would be great.
Well, if it's a placeholder account, in other words, if somebody has just gone in and are taking the names with the intention of trying to sell them later, and some people do that, and some people will pay for a specific name, you can now send a request to Twitter to ask that the account be suspended because it's strictly an inactive placeholder account because you want the name.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Tony actually
Yes.
said that it is an inactive account. So for him, that's probably a good thing. But just to be able to go in and do that, I think that's great. Can you say that one more time, Jackie, please?
Yeah, if it's a placeholder account and if it's sitting there inactive and there are no tweets, no followers, no follow back, in other words, the person is trying to make money off of securing a specific Twitter handle,
Mhm.
you can send a message to Twitter and ask them to close the account down because you want to become an active member using that. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that they're going to do it, but we have done it in the past and we have been successful.
Interesting. Okay.
Now,
So,
Tony, there's also variations of the name. And especially if it's an inactive account, nobody's going to know about it anyway. So let's say you want to call your account Widget and somebody already has Widget. You could go Widget 1. You could go Quality Widget. You could go uh, Widget underscore 1. There's many variations that you can use if you want that keyword widget in your Twitter handle.
and Tony's saying that they did use it a couple of times a few years ago.
Well, he probably is okay.
Yeah,
He's got nothing to lose by sending in a request.
exactly. Yep, I agree. Here's another. Well, Roshana, I'm not exactly sure if this is about the social media or if this is something you just wanted to find out about a new business idea called customer support outsource. Is that something that you're wondering about as a social media site for yourself? For example, she says a live chat. So maybe if you can just help clarify that for us a little bit, that would be helpful.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, actually, I'm not exactly sure just yet. Roshana was just asking, what do you think about a new business idea, customer support outsource, example, live chat? So I would just like some clarification for Roshana
I,
on.
don't- I don't understand the question, Kelly.
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying too, that we need a little bit more clarification.
Okay. Okay, I'll move on while she's clarifying that
Okay.
for you. So everybody's clear about how important your profile is.
I think so.
Okay, this is going to make your life so much easier on Twitter. You're using auto follow. You're getting 50, 100 followers a day, or you're doing it manually. However you want to do it. The only way that you're going to keep your sanity on Twitter is to create lists. It is so simple. You just go to your own profile page. You can see here lists. You go tweets, following, followers, favorites, lists. You go over here. You can subscribe to lists. You are members of. You click on that. In other words, people that have you in lists. And you see over here, create lists. Now your lists, you're only allowed 20 lists on Twitter, but when I first started this, I created 20 lists, and I can tell you I only used 3.
In here.
And the lists, the reason why they're so important is because these are the people that you want to be interacting with. These are the people that you want to be retweeting their tweets on a regular basis. These are people that will then retweet you back. If you look here, you can see I have news feeds. I have actually 2 because you can only put a maximum of 500 Twitter accounts per list. So I use these news feeds every day when I want to go in and look for interesting stuff to tweet. That's another source, and it really has worked well for me. So you're going to have also a private group. I have a private group that nobody can see. It's my group. It's my key people. And these are my go-to people every day. When I will go and see what they're tweeting, I will make sure that I'm supporting them. They know that I'm supporting them, and they are going to be supporting me back. So rather than sitting there looking at your Twitter stream and the gazillion thousand tweets that are coming down that stream, and you're trying to grab something of interest, if you start your lists, you have already the people there in these lists. When you click on, for example, if I clicked on Empire Avenue Friends, that is going to take me to a feed of every person that I have put in that feed, and I'm going to see every tweet that they're doing. So very quickly I can go in and I can say, oh, perfect, look, 5 people from my Empire Avenue friends. I like what they're tweeting today, and I retweet for them. Boom, I move to my next list. Off I go. Once in a while, I do retweet celebs. I'm very, very, very fortunate. I'm one of the few people that have the ear of Alyssa Milano on Twitter. She follows me, and when I have something very important that I want to get out, I will private message her, and she will support my tweets. I don't abuse it, but it's very, it's very nice to know, that when you have something that you really want, and I use it cause-driven. I don't use it for anything self-promotional whatsoever. So once in a while I do tweet out celebs because it's important for me to keep that connection with Alyssa Milano open. So any questions on lists, setting up lists, or why you should set them up? They are your lifeline on Twitter.
Nothing's coming in just yet. And I did not get a response from Roshana. So, Roshana, maybe just send me a message on Facebook if this was something completely different. Also, normally you guys, we do have any question answer time where we can ask anything about business. Because we had a special guest today, we're trying to stick within the social media aspect of it, which is, that's great in itself, but I don't want to have you feel left out. So if you do have a question and you want to shoot me an email message, I'll go ahead and take a look at your websites or whatever it is that you had questions about earlier, and either we'll hit them next week or I'll try to answer you in a message, okay? Thanks so much for your patience on that. And Jackie, it looks like we're all set so far. Do you have anything more you want to share about Twitter?
One of the key things that you really need to know about Twitter are hashtags.
Oh, good,
This
because
is
someone did have a question about this.
Yeah, this is extremely important. And what a hashtag is on Twitter is simply a symbol that you put in front of your subject. So you go to your search bar up here, and I've just used Canada. That's where I'm from. So I've put in hashtag Canada, and that will take me to everybody who is tweeting about Canada. So this subject interests me. I'm going to go and I'm going to see all the people that are tweeting about Canada, and I'm going to go and open a conversation with them. Oh my God, I love that part of Canada. How long have you been there? Whatever. It's a way to open up a conversation with people that are tweeting about the same subject as you.
Hmm.
Hashtags are critical in using Twitter successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can create your own hashtag. You can actually register your hashtag. I've given you the links here. It's called twubs.com, twubs.com. Register your hashtag. If you're using your business, you probably want to consider using your business in part of your hashtag. I would use, for example, for Savvy Media Marketing, our business account. I've used my personal account for this training, but for Savvy Media Marketing, we post daily on our blog a savvy tip about social media. So we hashtag Savvy Tips.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, moving along. Any questions about hashtags? I have a part 2 about hashtags here.
No,
Oh,
nothing so
sorry.
far.
Okay. Chats. How to build relationships, build them fast, build them strong, and have friends for life. Twitter has what's called chats. Okay? And this is where people who are sharing the same subject matter as you meet once a week and have a chat. They literally have a Twitter chat. How do you find them? Again, you hashtag subject. And if there are chats going on, you will find them. So here, for example, I join every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time a group of people that are sharing social media tools. It's one of the most important chats I've ever belonged to. The things that I have learned from this group is just amazing. So all you do is, if you're searching, like I said, you put in your subject and chat behind it, and it will take you to a stream if there's a chat about the subject.
Okay, so a question saying, how do I use hashtags in my tweets? So basically, what you're saying is when you're talking about a specific topic, you want to use a hashtag in terms of that particular group, that you want that information that you're putting in there to scroll down throughout the feed in that particular group. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it also, by using the hashtag, it brings attention. It hyperlinks, it highlights the keywords. So if you are tweeting a post about social media, and you want to send somebody back to your website to read a specific post about social media, you are going to hashtag social media. When I'm working with dolphin rescues, dolphins, I use the hashtag, dolphins love us. That's a hashtag that I created. So anybody who wants to go and read about other people that are tweeting about that information, all they have to do is click the hashtag, and it takes them directly to the entire stream of people that are tweeting in that subject.
Okay.
So if your say your subject is pharmaceuticals, use the hashtag pharmaceuticals, and if there's anybody else tweeting about it, um, click on that hashtag, and you're going to go and see everybody who's tweeting about that subject.
And I think it's also important to point out that that hashtag and any link that you put in there is also included in those 140 characters, true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you only have 140 characters no matter what you're doing. And one of the biggest things that people that are not familiar with Twitter and familiar with, trying to craft a tweet in only 140 characters, you have to leave some room at the end of your tweet. I suggest trying to leave at least 20 characters. So do not tweet longer than 120. That leaves 20, because that allows people to then retweet. Because if you've taken up all 140 characters, people don't have the time to go in and start recrafting your tweet to make it fit into the 140 characters.
And guys, I can tell you from personal experience, when I retweet anybody, if they have not left me room to say anything to my followers, then chances of my, reposting that are slimmer. I still do it, but it's slimmer because I have to go now and delete what they're saying so that I can put a little message in, and how do I know I'm going to mess up their post? So yeah, it's very, very important for what Jackie's saying.
And there's two distinct ways to retweet somebody. You can use the Twitter retweet button. Okay, that will retweet the entire link if it's long. So if it's an important message that you don't want to engage in a conversation with somebody, but it's something that's really important, like an Amber Alert or something, and you don't really necessarily need to engage, you can hit the retweet button and it will retweet. The problem with the Twitter retweet button is that you cannot respond in the conversation to thank the person. Because anybody who is retweeting you, if you are serious about engagement, you must thank them for retweeting you. And if you are using the retweet button, or they are using the retweet button, you cannot do it. So it's important that you copy and paste when you are retweeting somebody. It takes a little bit longer, but it opens and allows the engagement to happen.
Jackie, I think you've actually talked me into getting back into my Twitter account.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Well, I still have, 5,000 people, 6,000 people that are following me. I definitely ought to be taking advantage of building those relationships, and I'm not. So,
Kelly, when I was tweeting for the foundation, Global Village Champions Foundation, because I manage several Twitter accounts. I manage about 10 Twitter accounts, some for clients,
Right.
Some are specific to me. Like I have a specific account just for dolphins.
Hmm.
But anyway, I remember you were very socially engaged. You were very active. I remember you and I used to share quite a bit of information from the foundation account.
Right.
And you know, you cannot discredit the value of Twitter. I know people think it's just something that it is,
Waste of time.
yeah, just
Yep.
just a spam stream. It
Right.
can be just a spam stream, but boy, can it ever be a valuable tool for you as well.
Absolutely. Who on the call still has their Twitter account but really doesn't use it very much? Can you let me know? I'm not going to say any names, guys. I just want to know I'm not alone. Okay,
I've
so
just posted up a bunch of chats that might interest you, that you can start going and taking place. And you know what? The people that are in these chats, we are there for a reason. We want to socially engage you. We want to get to know you. So don't be shy. In the beginning, if you don't understand how chats work, because it can be a little bit confusing at first, just go to the stream and just lurk. Just
mhm.
watch what is happening. Maybe your first chat or two. But it really is. It's not like what is happening right now. It's not one-sided where one person is just throwing out all the information and everybody is sitting back and taking it. It is highly interactive. It's high speed. There's hundreds of connections that can be made from this, and you will learn. You will learn so much. It's unbelievable.
Mhm.
So this small biz blog chat, IM chat, actually the best thing that you can do is pick up the Twitter chat schedule, which is the long link that I have at the bottom. I don't know if you can copy and paste off of this, but if not, I'll put it in your group, Kelly.
Okay.
This will give you every conceivable chat that is going on out there. So if you want to chat about knitting needles or cats or whatever your subject matter is, and you don't always have to just be specific in your social media to what your business is doing. I'm not. I'm known for a gazillion things, but I'm also known as being a social media strategist.
Hmm.
But I'm known for what I am passionate about, which draws people to me to get to want to know me because they're sharing the same passion, which then allows me to open the dialogue that yes, my business is social media.
That's right. And that's exactly what you all want to do too. And thank you so much, you guys. You are all very loving. I really appreciate that. They're telling me, yeah, I don't use mine either. You're not alone. Yay. I'm glad to know. Okay.
So
So,
if
in
you're interested in connecting with me, just the conclusion at the back, there are several sites where you can go and become a part of, where you can put all of your social media links in one spot, which I love. Quicker.me happens to be my partner's website. She is a customer QR specialist. She creates custom QR codes. And that's, of course, obviously one of the reasons why I put all of my social media. So if you come to this page, you will find me. You can click on any of my social media links and you can connect with me. And I surely hope some of you will come and say hi. Mention that we met through our wonderful Kelly and through this wonderful process. And hopefully, I can help you in some way in the future.
Wow, Jackie, I cannot thank you enough because I know that there is a number of people that are in the dark about social media. And obviously, I mean, I chose to be in the dark when it came to Twitter. But I really value and appreciate everything that you've talked about here. As we're going to continue answering questions and talking before we wrap it up, I am going to just pull the screen back here so that
Okay,
if anybody
perfect.
else.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to me for, oh my God, it's almost 2:45. It's been a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
Well, you have just been wonderful. We really, really appreciate everything that you shared here. All right. Well, next week, Business Fundamental Fridays webinar is versus the tools and the links that you're going to need to make sure that your business is growing. So please make sure that you check us out on Facebook. Just go ahead and do a search for Business Fundamental Fridays. And if you're on YouTube, you can look for us there. Same thing, just search Business Fundamental Fridays. because as you've noticed, this is a great deal of information and it's also very beneficial to help keep your business growing. So thank you so much for being with us. You are our BFFs and we can't wait to see you next week. Thanks so much and have a great one.